in this video, I'll be running through a concept that I think is an interesting way to look at budget allocation across the year, particularly as you're moving into 2025 and you're thinking about your monthly budgets. What should we be spending in January, March, Q2, Q3, Q4, etc. And so what you can do is you can look at all historical data and you can put spend on the x-axis. You can put acquisition rate on the y-axis. And then you can dot every single day. And then you can go and you can just put a regression line to it. And that's going to show you, based on the trend of days that you've spent and the efficiency on those individual days, what your predicted, or more accurately, what your average acquisition MER was. And so on days up here where you spent this amount, you averaged an acquisition MER of 2. Up here, you averaged an acquisition MER of 6. And so then we can start to use this to infer future months once we layer in seasonality adjustments. So for example, we know that Jan generally performs at 90%. We know that Feb performs at the average of 100%. We know that March dips slightly and performs at 98%. And so we can start to layer these adjustments into this forecasting as well. And we can start to get an idea for, okay, well, if we want a 2 acquisition MER next month, we should spend this amount and we need to make a 90% adjustment down. And so you can use that kind of logic to reason yourself into a budget estimation for the month. Now, that's all well and good, and it's a relatively simple concept, but that's not really what this video is about, which is the fact that once you go and then look at the entire year, and you sketch out the year, and you start looking at budgets, and let's say we have a 10K budget here, we then go to a 20K budget here, and then we go to an 18K budget here. When we're looking at the efficiency target, we ideally always want to be maximizing profit contribution on a monthly basis. Now, if you're trying to acquire customers at break even and then make money on repeat purchasing, you might be just trying to maximize new customer revenue at break even. So you might have a slightly different goal, or you might have a maximized profit contribution at day 90 goal, which allows you to be a little bit more aggressive in contribution. They're all different metrics, but 80% of brands are going to lie in the bucket of maximize profit contribution on acquisition. And so if that is the case, we need to understand, well, what acquisition MER blended is going to get us to the point in which incrementally spending anything more is just going to drive losses and we need to stop. And maybe we identify for these brands, for this brand specifically, that that's at a 4. And so then what we do is we set our budgets according to what we believe we can spend whilst maintaining that blended average. Cool. So we know that in Jan, we can spend about 10K and that will allow us to stay at this efficiency. In February, we think we can spend a lot more, etc. Now, the next thing to ask yourself is, well, what is the difference between these 2 months? Why can we spend an extra $10,000 in February compared to January? And the reason why we can spend more is because in January, we might be driving 10,000 users to the website. And then in February, and let me loop this around here, we might be able to drive 20,000 people to the website. And so what's the difference? Why don't we just drive 20,000 people to the website in January? Why don't we just do that? Why are we spending less? Well, it's because the incremental 10,000 people here in January would not convert at a conversion rate that would make the entire funnel profitable. On average, for this brand, it costs them on Facebook about $1 to get a new user to the website, to get a new click. And in January, their conversion rates, unfortunately, just due to the consumer sentiment in that month and the seasonality associated with this brand, conversion rates drop to about 1%. And so we need to not go to cold audiences who might convert at lower percentage points, because as you go colder and colder and you ramp up volume, conversion rates deteriorate because you're putting colder and colder people on the website. And so we actually can't afford to drive these extra 10,000 people because they're not going to convert at the level that we need. And so we need to spend less. But in February, people are more willing to spend. Conversion rates go up a little bit for this brand. And so we can spend more and we can capture all of that incremental traffic that we were missing out on previously. And so what you can start to distill this understanding down into is that budgets are set based on expected conversion rates. If conversion rates are expected to be higher, we can spend more because we can drive incrementally more traffic to the website and they will be profitable. If conversion rates are lower, we can't spend as much. We can't incrementally go to those colder audiences and expect that they will convert at levels that will be profitable. And so what you can then distill this down into, which is the entire idea of this video, is if you had perfect budget allocation throughout the year and you perfectly understood the seasonality and how you should be adjusting budgets on a monthly and a weekly basis accordingly, you should be able to make your conversion rate chart over time. And so this is time in months of the entire year. And then this is conversion rates. And this is obviously a chart that you can pull up directly within Shopify. Your conversion rates should look like that. They should be flat. And the reason being is that when naturally, and let me overlay this with like last year's data, for example, which is, let's say last year they were down here, then they went up, then it came down a bit, and then it slowly trended up towards December. Well, what we should know based on that historical conversion rate data is that January's terrible. And so we should spend significantly less. And when we spend significantly less, we drive less traffic to the website, which results in only warmer traffic ending up on the website, which results in higher conversion rates. And so we bring the conversion rate up to a level that we know directly maximizes profit contribution. And then as conversion rates start to trickle up over time, we actually ramp up spend. And so let me put spend on this graph as well, so you can see the relationship on how spend ties into here, which is that we would spend a little amount, and then as conversion rates go up, we would spend more. And then we would just follow spend trends exactly with conversion rate. Because as conversion rates go up seasonally, we know we can spend more. And then what that ends up doing is that if we can track spend distribution perfectly across, and we can incrementally increase this enough in proportion to the expected conversion rate increase, we should be able to facilitate conversion rates remaining exactly stable across the website, more specifically new customer conversion rates across the website, which means this is the position in which we can maximize profit contribution. And so look, this was a really interesting way to be able to conceptualize how you're allocating budgets across the year for 2025, is that if you were to allocate budgets perfectly to perfectly maximize profit contribution, you should be able to keep conversion rates completely stable across the entire year. Because as conversion rates go up, you already know they're going to go up because you've looked at historical data, and you're cranking budgets accordingly to be able to maximize on that, which is keeping conversion rates suppressed because you're putting a bunch of incremental traffic on the website that isn't going to convert at above the new customer conversion rate because you're not looking to increase profit contribution any further. And then when conversion rates go down, you obviously pull all of this bad quality traffic that's not going to convert as well anymore during this time period. And once again, you hold yourself to the most profitable level of traffic and therefore the optimal level of conversion rates on site. Now, this whole theory is reliant on you looking at new customer conversion rates because we're looking at adjusting new customer traffic over time to be able to maximize new customer profit contribution. So returning customers is obviously going to skew all this data, which is an important consideration. So when you are looking at this, this is going to directly translate and be applicable into a brand that has a sub 5% conversion rate, returning customer rate, so majority of their revenue is coming from new customers. But if you have a high repeat purchase rate from returning customers, your conversion rate data is going to be significantly skewed and isn't going to show the new customer interaction over time. And so you might want to be reliant, if you're going to do this piece of analysis and apply it into your brand, you might want to rely on actual in-platform 7-day click new customer conversion rate trends on Meta, or you might want to go into GA4 and use new customer conversion rate data out of GA4 to be able to better identify how you should be budget planning and forecasting moving forward in time.